Welcome to our channel. Let's uncover the life story of Jeff Bezos, the man who transformed a simple idea into the world's largest online marketplace and redefined how humanity thinks about commerce, space, and the future itself. From a curious child tinkering in his grandfather's garage to becoming one of the richest people on Earth, this is a story of relentless ambition, calculated risks, and the power of thinking impossibly big. Today we dive deep into the mind of a visionary who didn't just build a company. He built an empire that touches every corner of our daily lives. Jeffrey Preston Jorgensen was born on January 12, 1964, in Albuquerque, New Mexico, to a teenage mother named Jacqueline and a father who would soon disappear from his life. His biological father, Ted Jorgensen, was a bike shop owner who struggled with alcohol and showed little interest in raising a child. When Jeff was just 4 years old, his mother remarried Miguel Bezos, a Cuban immigrant who had fled Castro's regime with nothing but determination and hope for a better life. Miguel legally adopted Jeff, giving him the Bezos surname and, more importantly, a father figure who would shape his character. The family moved to Houston, Texas, where Jeff's intellectual curiosity began to flourish. Even as a young boy, he displayed an unusual fascination with how things worked, often dismantling household appliances to understand their inner mechanisms, much to his parents' frustration. The most formative influence in Jeff's early life was his maternal grandfather, Preston Gies, who owned a 25,000-acre ranch in Cotulla, Texas. Every summer, young Jeff would spend weeks at this ranch, learning practical skills like fixing windmills, castrating cattle, and operating heavy machinery. His grandfather, a former regional director for the U.S. Atomic Energy Commission, taught him that resourcefulness and self-reliance were the keys to solving any problem. These summers instilled in Jeff a work ethic that would later become legendary in Silicon Valley. At Miami Palmetto High School, Jeff's academic brilliance became undeniable. He was valedictorian of his class, a National Merit Scholar, and showed particular aptitude for mathematics and science. His high school girlfriend later recalled that even as a teenager, Jeff spoke about wanting to build space hotels and start colonies on other planets, dreams that many dismissed as adolescent fantasy but would later become very real pursuits. After graduating from Princeton University in 1986 with degrees in electrical engineering and computer science, Jeff faced a crossroads. The tech industry was still in its infancy, and most of his peers were heading to traditional careers in finance or consulting. Instead, Jeff chose to work at several technology companies, including a stint at a startup called Fitel, where he gained his first taste of entrepreneurial culture. In 1990, at just 26 years old, Jeff became the youngest senior vice president at D.E. Shaw, a prestigious hedge fund known for its quantitative trading strategies. He was earning a substantial salary and seemed destined for a comfortable career in finance. However, a chance encounter with a statistic would change everything. While researching potential business opportunities, Jeff discovered that web usage was growing at an unprecedented rate of 2,300% annually. This number haunted him, representing an opportunity so massive that he couldn't ignore it. The decision to leave his lucrative position at D.E. Shaw wasn't made lightly. Jeff's boss, David Shaw, tried to convince him to stay, even suggesting he think about the idea for 48 hours. But Jeff had already made up his mind. He would later call this his regret minimization framework, imagining himself at 80 years old and asking whether he would regret not trying. The answer was clear. In 1994, Jeff and his wife Mackenzie packed their belongings and drove from New York to Seattle, with Jeff typing a business plan on a laptop during the journey. He chose Seattle because it was a tech hub with a talented workforce and, crucially, was close to a major book distribution center. He initially considered naming his company Cadabra, but changed it to Amazon after a lawyer misheard the name as cadaver over the phone. Amazon's humble beginnings in Jeff's garage had become the stuff of legend. With $10,000 borrowed from his parents and a handful of employees, he began selling books online. The early days were grueling. Jeff and his team would pack books on their hands and knees until someone suggested they get packing tables. The company operated on razor-thin margins, and every decision was scrutinized for its long-term impact rather than short-term profits. What set Amazon apart wasn't just its selection of books, but Jeff's obsessive focus on customer experience. He instituted a customer service philosophy that put buyers first, even when it meant accepting lower profits. This approach was revolutionary in retail, where customers were often treated as necessary inconveniences rather than the driving force of the business. The late 1990s brought both triumph and terror for Amazon. The company went public in 1997, making Jeff a multimillionaire on paper, but the dot-com boom created unrealistic expectations. When the bubble burst in 2000, Amazon's stock price plummeted from over $100 to under $6 per share. Critics called it Amazon.bomb and predicted its imminent collapse. Many investors abandoned ship, but Jeff remained steadfast in his vision. During this dark period, Jeff made the bold decision to expand beyond books into electronics, toys, and other consumer goods. He also invested heavily in infrastructure, building massive fulfillment centers that would later become Amazon's competitive advantage. While competitors focused on short-term survival, Jeff was building for the long term, even when it meant enduring harsh criticism and financial pressure. The gamble paid off spectacularly. By 2010, Amazon had become the undisputed leader in e-commerce. But Jeff wasn't content with retail dominance. He launched Amazon Web Services, transforming Amazon into a major player in cloud computing. He acquired Whole Foods, revolutionizing grocery retail. He invested in artificial intelligence, creating Alexa and the Echo smart speaker system. Each move seemed to anticipate market trends years before competitors recognized them. Today, Jeff Bezos is worth approximately $170 billion, making him one of the wealthiest individuals in human history. Amazon employs over 1.5 million people worldwide and generates annual revenue exceeding $500 billion. The company has fundamentally changed how we shop, work, and interact with technology. But perhaps Jeff's most audacious venture is Blue Origin, his space exploration company founded in 2000 with the goal of making space travel accessible to civilians. Jeff's personal life has been marked by both stability and upheaval. He was married to Mackenzie Scott for 25 years, and together they had 4 children. Mackenzie was instrumental in Amazon's early success, serving as an early employee and providing crucial support during the company's uncertain early years. However, their marriage ended in divorce in 2019, with Mackenzie receiving a settlement worth approximately $38 billion, making her one of the wealthiest women in the world. The divorce coincided with a highly publicized scandal involving Jeff's relationship with former television anchor Lauren Sanchez. The National Enquirer threatened to publish intimate photos of the couple, leading to a dramatic confrontation where Jeff refused to be blackmailed and instead published the details of the extortion attempt. This incident revealed a more combative side of Jeff, showing his willingness to fight public battles when his principles were at stake. Jeff has also faced increasing scrutiny over Amazon's business practices, including criticism about warehouse working conditions, the company's tax strategies, and its growing market dominance. He has been called to testify before Congress and has become a lightning rod for debates about wealth inequality and corporate responsibility. Despite these challenges, he is also committed to significant philanthropic efforts, including a $10 billion pledge to fight climate change through the Bezos Earth Fund. In 2021, Jeff stepped down as Amazon's CEO to focus on other ventures, including Blue Origin and his philanthropic work. His vision for the future includes millions of people living and working in space, with heavy industry moved off Earth to preserve the planet's environment. Critics may dismiss these ideas as science fiction, but Jeff's track record suggests that his seemingly impossible dreams have a way of becoming reality. What can we learn from Jeff Bezos' journey? His story demonstrates the power of long-term thinking in a world obsessed with immediate gratification. He shows us that true innovation often requires the courage to be misunderstood for years before being vindicated. His relentless focus on customer obsession over competition reveals that sustainable success comes from creating genuine value rather than simply outmaneuvering rivals. Most importantly, Jeff's willingness to reinvent himself and his company repeatedly proves that adaptability and continuous learning are essential for lasting impact. If you enjoyed this journey through the extraordinary life of Jeff Bezos, like, comment, and subscribe for more legendary life paths only on Celeb Path.